Good afternoon, everyone. We are here at B&H Depth of Field, and this is our webinar series that you're joining us for. This is now our third webinar in the series, and we have a really great presentation on posing by Roberto Valenzuela. Before we get into that, I want to tell you guys what's going on. We got a lot of excitement happening here at. Well, let's turn off that. Okay, got a lot of excitement here in New York City. You can see that we're in the New York City offices in Midtown Manhattan. That's Michelle, the director of the studio at B&H Photo right behind me. And we are working hard to bring an amazing depth of field to you guys. So at that, I have a couple of quick updates for you. So first off, I'll let you know that Mark Seliger has been added as a speaker. He's closing out depth of field on Wednesday from 4 to 5 o'clock. Mark Seliger will be speaking, talking about his project Rusty Truck, which is his band. He's actually has an amazing voice, and he's an all-star band, and he's done a new album, and he shot the videos and wants to talk about the process videos and how his interaction with music is. So you won't want to miss Mark Seliger, one of the greatest living photographers. Other things that are going on, we are building sets that are going to blow you away. In particular, because this is a Canon sponsored event that's going on right now, the Canon booth has a great, amazing, cool noir motorcycle set. It's really great stuff going on. So for those of you who are coming in person next week, you're going to be blown away. We have an amazing talent pool of models that will be available to shoot. And also we'll have the depth of field challenge, which is all digital this year. So you'll be able to shoot the models that are in depth of field and then enter them into several categories. And you'll be able to win really good stuff like EOS cameras, lighting, all sorts of great stuff. So that's very exciting. Tomorrow we got another webinar at 2 o'clock. It'll be the last in our webinar series. But for now, I bring you an amazing guy. You know, I went to his website. I've never met Roberto in person. Went to his website, and he is a beautiful wedding photographer, and he's a beautiful guy too. He's coming to you from Beverly Hills. He's also a watch collector. And hey, welcome to the show, Roberto Valenzuela.
Hey guys, how are you? David, B&H, Canon. My man, I like how you said I was beautiful too. Thank you for that. I needed that for the extra boost.
Well, you know, look, it takes one to know one. So, hey, I'm just going to turn this over to you. I know you got a lot to cover, and I want to thank you also, Roberto, for bringing in a topic on posing, because I think, like, you know, like nothing ruins a bad picture like out of focus, bad exposures, a dead pose, you know. So this is going to be a great presentation, serve as a foundation for everybody moving into this. So take it away. Thank you.
All right, sounds good, David. And yes, before I present, I just want to say that I'll share my screen soon. But yeah, posing is by far one of the most crucial aspects of that you can really learn and be comfortable with, because with all the AI stuff happening with software to like do retouching or do culling, there is never going to be AI that will fix a bad pose and turn it into a good pose. And the other thing is, posing is actually not that complicated. This presentation is going to show you that it actually can be very feasible for you to be quite good at posing, even if you don't know what's happening in terms of the mechanics of the pose. There are some things you can see that you can tell, okay, if I just continue in this direction, I'm not going to mess up badly. I'm going to be fine in the posing department, which will alleviate some of that anxiety that people have. So I'm going to get to it because I'm pretty excited about this presentation. So let's share this screen here. And there you go. And then I'm going to push play so you guys can see. Okay, just to make sure, can you all see this?
Looks great. We can see it. Hey, one more thing, Roberto. By the way, I may hit you up with some questions in the middle of this presentation, but at the end of the presentation, we're going to cover Q&A.
Okay, please feel free to do questions throughout the presentation. I enjoy the break, and everybody enjoys the break. So if you see something, go ahead and ask it, even if it's in the middle. No problem at all. Okay. And anyway, thank you guys for coming. Posing is one of the biggest passions in my life. I was terrible at it, so I decided to dedicate most of my life to learning how to be a great expert in posing. And then I developed great passion for teaching people posing, because it's such a frustrating topic for so many people in the world, not just in the United States, everywhere we go. And I learned my lesson in the hard way, that when a client sees a photo They may not be experts in lighting or composition, but they are instinctively experts in whether they look good or bad to themselves, right? So if somebody looks at a photo of themselves and they don't like the way they look because of the pose, it's over. There is no retouching that you can fix. There's nothing. So for this reason, it was kind of like a do or die situation. I wanted to stop the frustration. I wanted to stop the, I don't know what I'm doing. I wanted to stop the, why do I always feel inadequate or imposter syndrome when I'm shooting? I put a stop to that. And I learned posing. I wrote Picture Perfect Posing, which is one of the top selling books in the world for this topic. And I have learned after the book even how to continue teaching posing and becoming better at teaching people this. And out of that, I wanted to share with this big slide to you guys. This is the beginning of understanding how amazing posing can be and the stages you have to learn. So when people think of posing, you think mechanical, like move your arm here, put your arm there, do this. And this is why people hate posing, because it looks mechanical, because that part of posing is mechanical. So if you feel like, I don't like the pose, I like to keep things organic because I like the organicness, the fluidity of it all. The problem is not posing. The problem is that you are just stuck in the mechanical side of posing and you haven't moved on yet. You haven't completed the cycle that posing requires. And it is a cycle. Here's the 3 stages. Mechanical, which is where to put the body part, like parts of the body. That sounds terrible. Where to put parts of the body, like the hands, the legs, the fingers, the head, the legs, the torso, lean forward, lean back, lean to the side, shoulders away from the camera, shoulders towards the camera, face towards the camera, face away from the camera. All these angles and movements and all these different stuff is the mechanical side of things. That's only one stage of posing. Then you move on to the more artistic side of posing, which is the movement side. So once you get the mechanical stuff kind of down and you kind of feel like you kind of have it, please don't stop there. Move on to making your subject move. That movement is going to destroy part, I shouldn't say destroy, it's going to partially mess up part of your mechanical stuff. So if you put the person here and there and do this with your hands and arms and legs, and then you tell them to go ahead and let's start creating some movement, part of what you did in the mechanical side is going to get messed up. Yeah. And most of it is not going to get messed up. Most of it is going to be good. It's going to work. And you say, why is this movement so important? Movement is what creates that organic feel in a photograph, where when you see the photo, you don't notice the pose because the person is in movement. So when people say, I hate posing because I don't like how rigid and static it looks, that's because they didn't do the movement part of it all. So the movement allows people to kind of move their body into that mechanical pose that you have set. And yes, it will mess up part of it, but it will keep the integrity of most of it. And when you add movement, when people look at the photo that you took, they will no longer look at the pose. They will look at the photo you took. And the last part of the cycle of posing is the expression. Expression is you have people moving and you have the mechanical. And now what is the face doing? Is the face looking in a weird position? Did you tell them where to pose the eyes? Like, I remember in my early days, I used to tell people, look in that direction. Well, people were like, where? And that was a terrible expression. So now I'm very specific about where to look. And then I give them 2 or 3 different spots to rotate around. So I say, look here, then look here, then look here. These 3 points makes the expression more realistic because they're looking at a point, they're looking at another point, they're moving a little bit, and you already have the mechanical side. This expression stuff is what makes people feel like they're in a portrait, like you're taking a portrait of a person, not just a picture of a person. So I find that slide to be very simple, and it took me 15 years to learn these 3 little words. Okay, so I hope you enjoy them, and I hope you realize that when you pose people, it is a 3-stage process to become a master of posing. And that is the mechanical side, the movement side, keeping your subjects in movement, and the expression of your clients has to be worked on, has to be realistic, has to be organic, has to be them. Okay. So let's begin with this very interesting slide, and this will be the beginning of how easy good posing can be. So vision, and this is lesson 1. Trust the body, but do not trust the person's spine. What the heck does that even mean? It means this. If you were to put a person in a chair, in a table, or you lean them against a car, or you lean a person against a tree, or whatever you want to do, sit them on a chair, the human body will automatically adjust itself to look and feel comfortable. No, the human body is not going to make your arms go like this when you sit down, or start creating a Karate Kid. It's not going to do that. It's going to simply, if you tell somebody, please take a seat in this chair and feel comfortable, you're going to sit in the chair, you're going to get comfortable, you're going to sort of lean a little bit, you're going to close your jacket, you're going to button it, whatever you're going to do, and you're going to kind of slouch a little bit because your body wants to feel comfortable. That slouch, that's why I say trust the body. The body will do all its job, but do not trust the spine. The spine is where the slouching comes. When you tell a person to go ahead and lean against the tree or whatever they're doing, they're going to lean against the tree and they're going to automatically slouch a little bit. So the body gives you 85% of good posing. You don't even need to know all the rules of posing. You just have to trust the body. And then remember that you do not trust the spine. The spine will slouch. People will slouch because it's human nature to get comfortable. For example, I'm sitting in this chair now, and I'm slouching now because I'm presenting, I'm just chilling. And now this is me like not slouching. So it's uncomfortable not to slouch. You actually have to lift up your upper body, and that takes effort and strength. That's why the brain goes, oh, too much work, I'm just gonna chill here and slouch. That's why you should never trust the spine. So this is a line I wish I could show you in person in one of my posing workshops I do, where I will put a person in any position, sitting on a chair, laying on a couch, leaning against a tree, driving a car, it doesn't matter. And you will see that the body just kind of, people just pose themselves, and then you start fixing the posture. And once you do that, you have a pretty darn good chance of having a successful post photograph, okay? So that's a huge one. So here's the first part is practice visualizing poses with props. So if you see a chair, and this is a mental exercise, okay? And this actually expands your brain's ability to work and be able to create poses under pressure. Whenever we're in a photo shoot, you're not in a calm state. You're in a pressure state. You want people to think of you as an expert photographer. You want people to have confidence in you as their chosen photographer. You want them to be glad they hired you. So when you're under this pressure of all these expectations, your brain may or may not go for a margarita in Jamaica. And you don't want your brain to go for a margarita. You want your brain right here where you need it. And the way to do that is simply by doing this. As you're watching this presentation, grab a chair, look at a chair next to you, and put a person in your imagination in that chair, and then put your arms like in the backrest, or put your arms on the table, or in your imagination, create a simple pose using that chair on a person. Or if you have a couch next to you, like I do, imagine a person leaning at an angle on the couch, or sitting straight. These kind of exercises have gone a long way for me to go on a photo shoot. My clients are looking at me for direction. They're waiting for me to tell them what to do. I look at something like a prop, a tree, a sidewalk, a plant, whatever I can find as a prop for posing. And then my brain actually can visualize what I would do with that prop. How would I pose them within that environment? So that's that. And then you basically adjust as you go. Okay, so you have the idea, and then you kind of adjust as you go. So let's check it out, why this is so important. Here's a snapshot. There's a difference between a snapshot, a photograph, and a portrait. Okay, when you pick up your camera and you take a photo of a person in a moment that you did not pay attention to the lighting or to the posing or to the composition, you just took a photo of someone because of a moment that you're trying to capture. That's a snapshot. That's a snapshot of time. It's not a snapshot of that person. It's more like a snapshot of time in that person's life. Okay, so that's what that is. You don't have to worry about posing there or lighting. You just take a picture because you're trying to remember that moment. The next one is when you up the ante a little bit and you take a photograph. A photograph basically The purpose of a photograph is to show you what that person kind of looks like. The purpose of a snapshot was to show you what they're doing, like the action that you're trying to capture. But in the photograph, you're actually trying to capture what they look like. This is where posing will starts to come into play a little bit, but really what you're trying to just do is saying, this is Cowboy Joe. He's a cowboy in Arizona, in Tucson, well-known cowboy there. This is a photograph. This is what he looks like. And then you can see the post is not good. There's nothing there. It's not posing, but you can tell he is the main subject. And then you have the third option, which is this one, which is the portrait. Okay. And a portrait of Joe is where you can actually feel like you have a story that he's telling you. There is a story about Joe here. What is the story of him? Look at this portrait and ask yourself, what is his story? He's probably a wrangler. Yes, he is. Obviously, he's in the background. In the background is a bunch of horse, what do you call it? Horse saddles? It's horse saddles, right? You can tell that he's a serious man about what he does. He actually created those horse saddles. He actually made them by hand, the ones that are behind him. So this is a story about him. And this is where posing really comes into play. I lit up this entire room so you can see the detail of every single horse saddle in the background. Okay. And then this is like inside a very dark room where they work. The only light here was a little dingling light, like a little tungsten light that was not very good. And I wanted to create a really incredible portrait because this man doesn't really just allow anyone to take a photo of him. It was one of those like exception things. So I really wanted to not waste his time and do a really good job. So notice where his hand is resting on that wooden thing. I noticed that his left hand is on his pocket. I did not tell him to put his hand in his pocket. I only told him to put his hand on that wooden thing. So his body basically created that bend of his knee. He was standing the way he is. He put his hand on the left pocket. He was good, but the right hand was just dangling. It was not doing anything. So this is where I took my posing. I kept it simple. And I just basically said, hey, can you move forward one step so you can put your hand on that wooden device? I don't know what that is. And he took that. And then I told him to turn this way. I put a light in that direction. And this became the portrait of Joe. So this tells a story. Okay. Big difference between a snapshot of Joe that nobody cares and there's nothing to it, to a photograph of Joe, which is basically just showing you what he looks like, to an incredible portrait of Joe. And this is why I just love what we do as photographers. You can transport a person from this to this. And it's just like, I mean, it's just incredible. We printed this for him. We matted it. We framed it. It's awesome. Here's the next little story about trusting the body and all these different stuff. This lady here is an actress here in LA. And her agency is putting her in a movie. And the movie is supposed to be about, it's a conceptual movie. So there's supposed to be something strong about her face, something strong about her body language. They wanted something unique and creative, not something standard and normal. So this is what she looks like, standard and normal. Okay. This is the mechanical side of posing, nothing to it. Expression is not really there. There's no movement. She's just doing the basic mechanical side of posing. And that's where most people stop. The next photo, I actually wanted to break it up a little bit, and you will see the mistake that was created. Look at her left hand. Look, by adding movement to the pose, and yeah, we changed the outfit and all of that, but by adding movement to the pose, you can tell that there is more to it now. As you're looking at this picture, you're going like, yeah, I feel something here. Like she's like looking at me, making a strong connection, but then her left hand got messed up. It looks like she's doing something funny and something weird or whatever. So this is where I said, adjust as you go. So if you see this weird hand pointing at her neck like that, but everything else looks good, you don't have to break the entire pose, and you don't want to break up her confidence when she's actually moving for you. So in order for her to keep the expression, you have to keep up the confidence. So you can never tell a person that's giving you this movement and tell them, hey, don't do that. Don't put your hand like that, or that hand looks weird. That kind of negative feedback, even though it's innocent and it's very accurate, like, hey, don't put the hand like that. It sounds normal to you, but it can destroy the person's confidence. So when you see the hand like this, keep it, take the picture, don't say anything, move on, and then start saying, let's go ahead and let's put the hand down like this and put the hand up. Let's try this. And you're basically trying things. You're not telling her, don't do this, don't do that. You say, now let's go with this. Now let's go with that. Or try to do this in movement. And then she doesn't even realize that there was something wrong with her pose. So that is movement. And that is some expression there, okay? Now we're gonna move on to the third element of this mechanical movement and expression. And this is the artistic side of things. Look at this beautiful portrait. That is the same person 10 minutes later, where I focused on expression. She is mechanically, I fixed the posing a little bit. I had her laying down on some trunk that I found. I raised her back. I fixed her posture. The rest of the pose was done by her because her body, the human body, just adjusts to what's comfortable. Then I just put the hand there because the hand basically becomes like an arrow towards her face. It makes you want to look up and it frames her face a little bit more. So that's why the hand is there, but it's done in a soft manner. That's the mechanical side. Then you have the movement side. She was moving a little bit. She was rocking left, rocking right. She was moving her chin up and down. I was talking to her while she was moving. And then we worked on that expression, okay? That movement created that expression. My voice creates and helps with the expression. So compare this, which is nothing, to this, which is like, okay, it's kind of edgy and cool, but there's a mistake in the hand, to this, where it's like, wow, there's something super special there. And that's the power of simple posing. Just there's 3 stages to it. Look at this, for example. Here's the models that well, these are some of the models that I hired for my conference in Tucson called the Photo Creators Conference. We fly these models from all over the nation because they're top models. They're beautiful. They're awesome. And when I was trying to take a picture of them real quick, a photograph of them real quick, I didn't overcomplicate matters. I saw the little chair where the girl on the right could sit on, the little base with a tree trunk thing. I saw the tree trunk where I could have one of them put their hand there. And then the rest are being posed by the other person's body. So you can see the girl wearing the white shirt. She's actually using her arm to pose, to put it behind the other girl in the red dress. And then the girl on the left side wearing that dress is leaning against the girl wearing the solid red dress. So you're using the other person's bodies to basically create a more interesting pose. So how does this help you? Yeah, go ahead.
Roberto, quick question if I could, for Rolando Garcia is asking, how do you prompt the movements? So I think it's a great time to ask you with 4 models. Are you giving them verbal prompts or how are you doing that?
Great. Yeah, no, this is amazing. If you actually look at the photo, first of all, I don't worry about complicating the posing. Simple posing is always best. But the secret to great posing is use the props around you. In this case, props come in 2 ways. Human bodies could be props, like in this case, and the building structure, little base with a tree trunk coming out and where that girl is sitting, that's a prop. So now that we have the props and the human bodies to basically lean the other people with, then we start the girl on the red dress and the girl on the left-hand side, you can tell that their heads are leaning towards each other. Okay, that's creating energy towards them too. The 2 girls on the right are actually leaning towards each other. So they're connected by their body language and by the direction of their chin. And the girls wearing the dresses on the left, they're connected because they're pointing their heads towards each other. So you don't have to do it this way. I just try to lean people's chins towards whoever I'm trying to connect with. Okay, that's the first instruction on how to create movement, is the chin. Move the chin. If you just move the chin, the body's going to start slouching a little bit after about 10 seconds. So keep your eye on the ball. As they're moving their chin, their expression changes. They're getting a little more comfortable. They're getting in the mood. Your You're chatting with them a little bit about, okay, lean your chin towards towards Arbany, or lean your chin towards Sarah, or lean your chin, or tilt your head a little bit. You're creating this constant flow of words and movement, and that creates a more calm, confident expression. Okay, so you're getting both of those sort of at the same time. But they're not all just staring forward, looking at the camera like if they were in prison. There's a connection between them that it was very subtly created, and it's very simple and easy to do. So if that helps, start moving the chin. The problem with moving the bodies too much is that it starts to destroy the mechanical side of the pose too much. So once I got those people in that relative position, that's the mechanical side taken care of. Then movement. I start adding movement by changing the direction of their chin, how their faces and their eyes are directed towards either the people next to them or towards the camera. And then third is the expressions. If somebody is laughing and the other people are not, I will try to bring it all to the same sort of expression type. Okay. But this photo right here, very simple, took me 10 seconds to do it, but it completes the circle. So just have a vision. You got to have a vision to start. Without the vision, you're walking around guessing and you don't know what to do. And then people feel like you're not confident. So those mental exercises of creating a pose by just imagining a person sitting on a chair or whatever, those mental exercises actually will go a long way in working that brain muscle to be faster at creating poses in your head. Okay. Any other question right now for that? No. Okay. Let's move on to this. So here's an example of this entire posing exercise stuff. Look at this photo on that you see here. Look at those bushes way deep in the park where those people are pointing. Okay. That I thought that would be a cool place because my brain, as I walked by there, I saw that big tree bushy thing, and I thought this would be a very cool background for a photo because of the way that sun is going through the trees and all this stuff. But I needed to bring a chair to make them taller. So I brought a chair and I made them taller, and here's the result of that. Now you can see them appearing there. You can see the two people there. From there, I put them together to create something cool. I knew that if I just had them lean towards each other, their bodies were going to create a good look for me. I did not have to create a mechanical side all because of my skill. I can trust the body, but not the spine. So as I told them, hey ladies, can you guys lean towards each other? Just lean your backs towards each other. As soon as they did that, their bodies created that, her hand on the hips, and she just basically got comfortable there. Okay. And then I made the adjustment on the spine. And then we worked on that movement. We started moving them a little bit, get away from each other, come back towards each other, roll your shoulders towards each other, keep looking at the camera, boom, picture's taken. Okay. And it looks like that.
Roberto, hey,
Yes, sir.
I know you're rolling around really fast tonight. There's a question that we have from VPC Valley Photo Club, and I kind of was thinking the same thing. If you could go back to the 4 models and the okay, so here I noticed it before you were showing it to me, and this other person picked it out. But what's going on with the feet in the bottom of the picture?
I just messed up on the crop.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I love you. You're awesome. Okay, so there we go. VPC Photo Club.
It's a good question, and the answer is I messed up. I messed up on the crop because I was taking this quickly, and I'm not trying to be Mr. Fancy or excuse what happened there. I'm just pure honest mistake. Like I just took the photo. I didn't care about the feet that much.
All good. Hey, look, you could in post. You could a small crop and you're all good in post. So
actually, this question about the feet comes up quite often. Not only the feet, but about mistakes. And one thing I will say to people, which is comes at a surprise and a shock to most, the better I have gotten at posing, the less I care about being perfect at posing. And mistakes are created by movement. And without movement, the pose looks static and terrible. So I would always rather create movement and have a mistake or two than try to be perfect on my pose and keep the photo very static. And then the photo looks dead. Like there's no human connection to the picture. And that's That is the biggest problem with posing, is that static, awful 2x4 piece of wood feeling where so is stiff. I would rather add mistakes because of the movement than not. Okay,
All good. Thank you so much.
you got it. Yeah, and please keep the questions coming. They're great. Here's another post. People are like, "Oh, Roberto, you're so amazing at this beautiful post." I didn't do this post. This post was done by them because I have very small little rules about posing. Trust the body, do not trust the spine. So I told them, hey, after this pose, can you turn towards each other or whatever and lean your head against her, against like her upper, like by the collarbones. Okay. So they did that. And then I waited a second or two for them to adjust their hands and try to create something. I did not do this pose. I set the mechanical side of what to do. I prompted the movement, and in the movement and on their bodies created this pose for me. So that's the wonderful thing about posing. As long as you're confident and you're telling them, go ahead and turn towards each other, put your head on her like near her collarbone and look at the camera and bring your chin down a little bit, or bring your chin up a little bit. These things, I don't know exactly if it's going to look amazing. I have it in my head. I have an idea of what it will look like. And then I make adjustments accordingly. You do not have to be a posing rule master or an encyclopedia of posing rules for you to take risks. Take the risks because the body will do its job. And all you have to do is make adjustments after that, and don't trust the spine. Fix the posture on the person. I can assure you, you're going to have great success and a much higher yield of good photos if you just follow this simple recipe. Okay. Here's another one of that kind of caliber of having a vision. Okay. We have a mirror, you have the groom there. I put a light on them so then the reflection can show up. It was just adjusting. I first put them on the floor. I had her hold the mirror, and then I started adjusting the pose. So that's it. That's this photo actually is a great example of risk taking in posing, which is what most people are afraid to do. But you don't have to be afraid. Take the risk and remember that the body will do its job and the spine will slouch, and you can fix that. And you will have, I'm not saying every photo will work, but a lot of them will. Okay. Here's another one of having a vision. This is part of the exercises of posing and composition and all of that. Look at this sunny day, New York City. This is called a highlight. I don't know what's it called. It's a sunny day. It's people all over the place, but take a look at the vision here. There's a billboard in the back.
All you got, man. All you got.
I get my 200 millimeter lens to compress the scene. And then the result is this really cool photo. That crazy cool looking photo, like he's this painting murals staring at me while he's looking in this direction. That was part of the imagination, exercise in the brain kind of thing. So let me look at that. That's the top photo, shows you what the scene looked like. And in the bottom shows you the final result. And the question to you is, if you were in my position and you were walking by that area in New York, the High Line, I think it's called, and you were walking past that with the groom on the day of their wedding, would you have seen that billboard as a major opportunity for a portrait? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But I can assure you that these mental exercises definitely get you to that point. Okay. Here we have another one of a static pose. This is the problem. Incredible model, beautiful outfit, terrible picture. Okay. Because she's not moving. All right. Yes. Look, you can see her feet, her legs, everything is there, but she looks static and boring. And this is the problem. So automatically I said, let's take risks. Let's add movement. If the movement gets messed up, which it will, I have a choice. There is mistakes that ruin the picture, which means I have to redo it. And there are mistakes that are acceptable. And I do not have to reset the whole picture because those mistakes are acceptable. And I know this sounds crazy, but the moment you start accepting posing mistakes as part of your flow, you will become more free to photograph and take risks. Okay. So here's the movement that I created with the same model. We changed their outfit.
Good job.
You can see the shooting there. I'll show you what it looks like.
Stop.
changing the light just to make sure. I'm anticipating where the movement is going to be, where her face is going to be. So imagine the pressure of doing this in front of a bunch of people, and I'm supposed to produce something really outstanding here. You really have to have your brain knowing, like, if I do this, this is what it's going to look like. You have to have that idea.
Okay. One, two, go.
There, that movement could have made some mistakes, and it did. But look at the end. Here's the crazy movement. That's what it looks like behind the scenes. But how fun is the photo that came out of it? Yes, I did shutter drag on that. But that photo on the right looks like a Vogue picture, like something that would be in Vogue for a fashion model. That picture on the left looks terrible. And the difference between the two, besides the outfit, is the second element of posing, which is create movement. And what about her expression? She did not look down by accident. I told her to look down. Okay, look down so the light can hit her. The light is coming from above with a beauty dish. I want that chin to be shadowed. So yeah, look down. If she would have been looking up, it would have been too much of the white part of the eyeball, and it would have distracted the photo. So that's the expression side of things. So you have mechanical side, that you have the movement, which is what I just did here, which she was hopping, and then you have the expression. The expression, where to look should be determined before you start the movement. So if you tell people where to look specifically, like look at the apple on the table there, then people know to look at that apple. Then you give them 2 or 3 choices to look around the apple, and that's going to control where they look. That's going to go a long way in their expression, okay? And then all you have to do now is get that movement going, and hopefully get the mechanical side of posing right. Okay, look how beautiful that is. Just so you can see how I took a risk here, and usually these risks pay off. Not always, but usually they do pay off. And I think it looks really cool. So here's lesson 2, communication. Communication is the second biggest part where I see people sort of struggling, okay? And what does communication mean? I think to people, when they say communication when it comes to posing, is telling people what to do. Like, can you put your arm here? Can you put your leg there? Can you put your arm here? Can you put your fingers there? But actually, communication has a lot to do with also how you talk and the way you are talking to people, like almost like music. So if you tell somebody like, I love what you're doing, keep your arm up, that's beautiful, bring your chin down, great, I love what's happening, bring your chin a little bit more to the left and look at the camera, 1, 2, 3, go. That has like a beat to it. That's why I say be the music. Okay, it has like a little bit of a feeling of like this. Now let's try it without the music, or like without the beat. Can you put your arm here? Can you put your finger there? Can you put your leg like this? No. Yes. Try that. I don't like it. Maybe. Okay. What are you doing? So this becomes a communication problem. People are like, what are you doing? What's happening? Am I doing things right? Am I doing things wrong? So first thing is be the music. Be clear means when you're pointing to somebody like a shoulder, you say, instead of saying put your left shoulder, like rotate your left shoulder, and people don't know which shoulders they're left. That takes time and that takes energy. So just point at the shoulder. Bring that shoulder left, bring that shoulder right, bring this eye this way, bring that blob this way. Be clear. The more clear you are, the more time you gain. You don't waste time with extra words, okay? Be engaging, be encouraging, be funny. What does being engaging means? Photographers sometimes take their camera and they put it on their face and they start talking to their client with the camera in their face. You know, that is the least engaging thing you can possibly do. The poor person that you're photographing is not even relating to you as a human. There's a big camera in your face and they're trying to hear you with the words muffled because the camera's blocking your voice. Not a good thing to do. You can talk loud, and if you have your camera because you're shooting, you can talk loud. But now with mirrorless cameras, this changed the game. You can move the camera to the left a little bit, let the eye tracking track the eye, and actually talk to people with the camera off your face, because you know that the eye tracking technology is going to do its job, especially Canon's technology, which is incredibly superb. You can actually trust the technology is going to work, okay? Be direct, be decisive, and speak with energy, and have some pre-post introduction. Tell them a little bit of what the idea is and what you're trying to accomplish before you put them in a position. So that way you guys are working as a team, okay? When it comes to expressions, I call this the expression parabola, which means that when people create an expression, let's say they're laughing or they're sad or whatever, usually there's a peak to their expression, and that peak is usually not flattering when it comes to a photograph. In video, it's different, but in a photograph, it's right before the peak and right after the peak that the best expressions come. So I just kind of get ready. And if you don't want to be ready for timing to being so perfect, then use the camera technology, put it in 10, 12 frames per second. And as you start trying to get an expression out of them or trying to get them to react to something you're saying, they're going to react, and then you can actually shoot like right there, pop, 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 pop. That red circle is a good expression. That's the peak. And then the next red circle is the next good expression. This is where the best expressions happen. When the expression begins, it's like kind of boring, not that great, not that great. Then it gets better, better. Then you have like the best part. Then it peaks, and then at the peak is too much. Like people look like they're like a horse or something. And then they start coming back down. That's another good expression. And then the expression basically dies. Okay.
Hey, Roberto, this
Yes,
is a
sir.
question I got for you. This isn't from anybody, but I love where you're going with this. So do you work with your digital camera clicking the shutter speed, having a mechanical shutter speed happening, or are you in a silent mode? Does your subject know the pictures are being taken to kind
Okay.
of move through poses?
That's an amazing question. And that's why I'm glad you're asking them. In posing, it bothers people not to hear the shutter. Okay. That doesn't look, everybody's different. Some people may agree with this or not. I'm telling you, in my opinion and in my experience, it has been a disaster putting the camera on silent mode and trying to get them to give you an expression. And why is it a disaster? Is because when a person, most people don't want to be photographed, right? They get nervous, they're uncomfortable, they hate the camera in front of them, they get self-conscious, they get stiff. So when they try to give you an expression, they have to become vulnerable for you for that moment while you take that picture. And that vulnerability comes at a price, which means that you have to respond to that vulnerability. Okay. And you respond by giving them the respect they deserve for giving you that vulnerability. So when they hear the click, 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 and you're talking to them and they hear the click, it's like you're doing your job, they're doing their job. And it becomes like a team effort. Okay.
Thank you so much. That's a great, you nailed it.
No problem. Yeah. If they're giving you an expression and they don't even hear you taking a photo, their expression is going to die very quick, saying, are you taking pictures? Like, am I doing this for nothing, or are you actually photographing me? They don't know. So here's a funny video just to break it up a little bit about posing. This is what people think when they think of posing.
You don't have a double chin. What you do have is bad posture. So all you need to do is 2 steps. Bring your shoulders up,
It's so
back,
funny.
and down. Bring your chin slightly forward and then slightly down, and look at the difference that makes.
This is just great. I'm sorry. This is why I love posing, because when people hear posing, this is what it looks like. This is what it sounds like to them. And this is when you do too much mechanical stuff and you don't add the movement or the expression side. This is what it sounds like when you stick to just the mechanical side. It's bad news. I'm going to move on a little faster here just because of the time. But look at the way I'm posing the girl, and her name is Chanel, and look how my voice is the music. Okay, I'm constantly talking to her. Check it out.
That's nice. I like that.
So I like that. I'm being
Maybe illuminate the
affirmative.
other
I'm
side of
giving
her
her
face,
compliments. I'm telling her what to do.
That's it. That's it. Gorgeous.
That's it.
Lips
Gorgeous. Gives
perfect.
them affirmation that they're doing something right.
Okay, that's amazing. That's amazing.
That's
Okay,
amazing.
when you do the chin down,
Good.
look out the window again.
See, when you do the chin down, look out
Okay,
the
let's do that
window.
one more time in movement. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3.
Look at that. That's the
And then
movement. You
look out,
see?
look
You
out,
guys hear
look
that?
out.
In
Chin down,
movement.
chin down, chin down.
Chin down, chin down. Look at that. You see her, I didn't move her arm. She did it for me. That's the body doing its job. I'm taking care of the movement and the expression. And look how cool this comes out. Guys, this is incredible. Just trust me, like what I just said about communication is key. Be confident, be flattering, be there, be present. And you can hear the shutter of my camera going off. So she's part of me, I'm part of her. We're doing this together. They love that. Once you take the picture, stop shooting. Don't overshoot because people get angry that you continue shooting and shooting aimlessly. It doesn't look professional either. So get your photo, take your 20 photos, whatever you need to do to get that expression, and stop and say, great job. Okay. I'm going to show you some shots that I've done in terms of posing, how posing doesn't have to be so perfect. And it creates a very good look that you'll be surprised how many magazines and editorials want this sort of thing. As long as you're giving them the juicy part of the post looks good, then the person when looking at the photo doesn't get distracted by the pose. Okay. So look at this one, for example. It has a cool this is for a magazine. It's the magazine is right here, by the way. It's called Glow magazine. And it was for this issue that I was photographing this actor. And I'll show you the photos now, but that's the photo shoot. Look at the pose. I grabbed the chair, I put him in the chair, and I grabbed something from the floor so he can put his left foot on top of that prop. That's all I told him to do. Then he slouched. I fixed the slouch. I started talking to him in a calm manner. I was confident. I was clear, and he was able to get that expression out of him. That was great posing, very simple. I didn't have to pose every elbow, every finger. He did it for me. I just make sure his spine was good, and I did my job, which is the movement and the expression. Look at this one here. Here's inside his door, inside his doorway. I am sitting right there in that dark area. And in order for me to enhance that beautiful lighting, I put a Profoto light in there, and I did it with a Magnum modifier to blast as much light as if it was the sun, because I wanted the pose and the light to come together like in one sweep. So here's me shooting. I already did the pre-posing. He already knows what to do. Look, he's relaxing. He moved his hand by himself. I did not tell him to do it. Okay, I'm just keeping him relaxed. And here is me explaining to him, here's 2 or 3 things you can do in movement. Do these things in movement. So that's me telling him how to pose so he can move himself, and not telling him to be perfect, just saying, go from here to here to here and circle between those 3 things. And then my Profoto light would illuminate his side of his face. Look how crazy this looks. It looks beautiful. Okay. That when you look at this photo, you don't think of the pose. You think of the strength of the portrait. Okay. You think like, wow, this guy's determined. He's serious. He's a strong personality. You can tell there's something about him. That's the beauty of posing correctly, correct posing. Or look at this one. Here's like another side of him. He's laughing, he's having fun, but he's stylish. His posture looks strong. He looks good. And you say, well, did you put your elbows on his knees? No, I told him to lean forward in this time where I was prepping him on how to pose. I said, in one of the poses, just kind of lean forward. I did not have to tell him, put your elbows on your legs. I knew that the body was going to do that for me anyway. So, and he did. So there you go. The one thing I did have to do is when he put his hands together, it was a weird angle on his hands. So this is where I said on my first slides, you adjust as you go. So I was able to just make a small adjustments on the hands, and that's it. This is cool. This is his little bar area in his house. And in this case, the props were the shaker for the drinks and basically holding the shaker and the drinks. And I wanted to create like a lifestyle pose for the magazine. So here is me telling him how to do it. Very simple posing. This is like 5, 6, 7 seconds of what to do. And that's it. And then this is the pose. And that came out of that. And look, he's resting his elbow on the table. He's got the shaker going. He's crossing his legs. I did not tell him to cross his legs. I did tell him to put his elbow on the table because that's the prop that I'm using, right? I said use props. Use the props to guide your pose. So of course, if that's going to be there, we can use it as a prop for the arm. And then the other prop is the shaker, and he's shaking, and that creates action, that creates movement. His expression was something I focused on. Look at the floor and laugh at it. And then he did, and the photo came out beautiful. Okay. This goes to show you how you can take risks without fear, because you know that the body will do its job. Okay. Let's take this risk thing to the next level. Here's a photo that was pretty risky. I wasn't too sure if this was going to pan out, but I trusted the body and I did not trust the spine, and I trusted my instincts and my posing instincts. Okay. So I found these little leaf thingies that you buy at the stores to do like house decor or whatever. And I thought they would be cool as a framing device, like to frame them, because his jacket was brown. So I thought, hey, brown jacket, these things are like a tan color. And if you put them around the face, it can be kind of weird, but it could be cool. So I had him lean on the couch so that the leaves, see, this is part of the posing process, right? The mechanical side is you have a couch, so lean on the couch. Not lay on the couch, just kind of lean on the couch. That's the mechanical side. Then I start doing the leaves. I don't know what those things are called, but those little leaf things coming in front of his face. And I knew that if mistakes happened while he was moving those in order to expose his face, so they wouldn't be blocked by the things, I knew that mistakes would come. But I paid attention to the mistakes. I paid attention to the movement. I liked the mechanical side of things. I liked where that was going. And then I just said, okay, if mistakes occur when he's moving, I'll adjust as I go. And I changed my angle so it would shoot from above. This is one of my favorite photos. And when it was published, it was the riskiest photo I took, and the one they liked the most, which is usually what happens. So here is the photo being taken. See how I'm not putting the camera to my eye? That's because I'm trying to talk to him and adjust the little leaves from his face and so forth. But here's the final picture, which turned out really cool. Okay, so I took my risk. I trusted the body. I did not trust the spine. And sure enough, here is the whole cover of the story is this picture. Okay, so, you know, photographers say, like, how do you get published and how do you get all these things? You got to take risks. You got to, this became the chosen picture for the whole story, for the cover. And it was the craziest, riskiest picture I took. The rest that were really good, they did not choose it. They chose this one. So it's very important for us to take risks. Otherwise, we basically shoot like everybody else. Okay. Okay, the next lesson is understanding. And boy, this is important. You want to understand things like lens compression. What does it take to be posed the way that you're posing your clients? Like, can you be empathetic about the pose? Okay, you have to understand what are mistakes that are acceptable and understand mistakes that are not acceptable. And the most important one, you have to understand body dynamics. And we don't have time for that in this presentation. You can take my posing workshop for that. But I will teach thoroughly what body dynamics do, so you can have that like in your back pocket at all times. Understanding body dynamics, angle, center of gravity, posture, thresholds, and tension, it is key to your ability to correct the pose if it's going wrong. Okay. So here's acceptable versus unacceptable mistakes. So if you guys are watching this, let's play a quick fun game. Let's play what is the mistake. So in this case, the mistake is the elbow. The elbow is an unacceptable mistake. That ruins the picture hands down. It looks terrible. It's a photo of the elbow. What's the mistake here? The mistake here is that the right hand is coming out of nowhere by her hips. Okay, it looks like a creepy person was hiding behind her and putting the hand around her leg or her hips. However, this is a mistake that I'm willing to live with because the picture looks so nice. Her expression looks nice. Her movement looks good. And it doesn't look so posy. It kind of looks like she was walking and looking whatever direction. So that mistake is definitely a big mistake, but I wouldn't say it kills the picture. Okay. It's like a whatever mistake for me. This one is, I don't like the way this one looks. It's too much of a photo of her arm, and it doesn't look very refined, and she has no neck because there's just there's no movement between her shoulders, and her neck looks like it's non-existent. This is a photo where I would probably reset the picture. This is a mistake. The whole arm and the neck thing is not really working for me. So this is where I would actually change it. And then you have those 3 fingers or 2 fingers pointing out into the rail. That's not going to work. So that's a photo where it wouldn't work. This one is kind of like an in-betweener. Here you have the guy basically like a turtleneck, like going like this, like a turtle, popping his neck to kiss her cheek. And she doesn't look too engaged. So what happened here is this was a mistake in my part from the third element of posing, which is the expression. The expression, I wasn't communicating with her enough. I wasn't making her laugh or making her smile. I basically kept my camera there and I gave them some basic things and they did it. And because I didn't continue pushing the expression, you end up with this, which is a mistake. And this is not going to work. Okay. She almost looks like she's not interested. And his turtleneck, his turtle head popping out is not flattering either. So, you know, just so you know, these are two pretty major mistakes here. Okay. Here, obviously, the whole photo is a big mistake. Okay. I was trying to create movement. This is at the beginning of my career. And the movement was too much. I didn't get the mechanical side of the pose first. I actually just had them move. So I skipped the mechanical side and I had just had them move and say, just keep going, keep going. And this is the result of that. And it was a disaster, but I learned my lesson. I call this photo the slap in the face. So here you have the elbow and the slap in the face. This is an unacceptable mistake. The lighting is terrible. This was taken at the beginning of my career when I wasn't sure what I was doing. Here you have the mistake. Here is her fingers on the right hand. So they're basically too straight, and that's very distracting. So the way I could have fixed it is by relaxed her fingers like this, and that would have been, those fingers would have been taken care of by a simple joint movement. But I didn't. I messed that up, and I say to myself, do I need to restart the whole picture? The answer is no, you don't. Okay. And this one is the way she's holding the veil. But check this out. I also said to understand when you're dealing with posing, you have to understand what the pose is doing and what lens you're using, because lens compression is a real problem. Like if you're using a 200 millimeter, like a 70-200 or 200 millimeter lens, the compression on that is severe. And if you don't pay attention to the pose and there's a part of the body pointing towards the camera, it's going to compress it and it's going to make the pose look ridiculous. So take a look at this. Look at the girl on the left-hand side. She's got a normal arm. It's long. She's got the sparklies on her arm. She looks amazing. This was taken with a 200 millimeter 2.0 Canon lens. Then I had her move her arms to create movement. And when she moved up her left arm and her right arm, the arm came right to the lens. Okay. And that lens compressed her arm. And now she looks like a T-Rex. Look at that. That is wild, my friends. Okay. You've never seen, this is like serious T-Rex situation because there's no arm left anymore because of the compression of the lens just totally killed it. Look at this and compare it to that. It's incredible. And this is lens distortion, where you try to distort with a wide angle lens, basically the opposite of this. This is compression, and this is using posing to get distortion. So I'm distorting her foot. Okay. Let me actually skip, because I want to show you guys something important here in terms of the posing and the confidence. This is lesson 5. I can't stress enough the importance of confidence when you're photographing people. And this was one of the most stressful photo shoots of my career. I was photographing for a hair extensions company. The photos that I took here were going to be going into the Instagram of the entire Kardashian family. Kim Kardashian, Khloe Kardashian, every Kardashian member was going to put these photos on their Instagram stories. You know how much it costs to put a photo of a product in a Kardashian Instagram story, right? So I'm doing the photo shoot, knowing that this is gonna go into Vogue, American Vogue magazine, and the Kardashians were going to be putting it in their stories. And here is me shooting. This is back in 2021. And I just didn't have the confidence, guys. Like my confidence, I'm a human being. My confidence wasn't there. I was getting nervous. So look at this.
When they say it takes a village, it takes a village. Look at all this. This is just a lot.
So all those people were basically, I don't know, the energy in the room was so stressful that I became stressed. And that was a big mistake. I need to stay calm and you need to stay confident. That's lesson 5. And so she is here, she's getting her makeup done and everybody's ready. They spent 3 hours doing hair and makeup. And look at these photos. Like, I put the blue sound effects because they were so bad. Okay. Look at this one. Guys, this is not gonna work. And the problem is that even though I'm supposed to be like a posing master or whatever, I didn't feel the confidence in these pictures. Okay, I wasn't confident. And as much as I know about posing, that element of not being confident destroyed me. And this is the result of it. Okay, so be the music, gain confidence, create movement. All of these things were starting to go into my head. And the photos just were not looking good. Look at this.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Good. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. That was really good.
Like, are you guys leaving listening? Like, oh, that was really good. Yeah, okay. There's no energy to my voice. Remember I said earlier, speak with energy? Well, I was just like, yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, that's beautiful. 1, 2, 3. That is not posing. That's not how posing is going to work. Okay. That poor girl was probably thinking, like, please kill me now, please. she was probably going like, this photographer is terrible. Okay. So what's the problem? Is it you or is it the client? And the answer is it's you. Okay. Sorry, not sorry. It's true. Music can help you, but it won't save you. Equipment cannot save you. Gels are not going to help you here. You can put all the gels in the world and it's not going to help you. Creative life is not going to do squat for you at this point. And YouTube, nope, that's just not going to work. Okay. You have to take it upon yourself to take a moment to breathe and bring the energy back. Okay. So I cranked up the music. I started getting confident in what I'm telling her. I started speaking to her with more strength, more confidence, more power, more happiness. I was like, let's get this done. Let's do this. Let's show this. Let's get your product going. And now look at the results. Okay, this is me pushing her with the music, getting her going, get the wind in the hair, get the wind machine going, move. Like, she could not stand still. I was like, her name is Priscilla. I was like, Priscilla, we're not gonna go about it the way we were before. We're gonna kick butt now. Okay, this is kick butt time. Let's get the music. Let's crank it up. We're gonna work together. Boom, let's move. This allowed her to relax, to get her face expression to be realistic. This is the expression I wanted, not this. I did not want this expression or this expression. This is dead expressions. I want you to really be you. Look at this. Look at this one. That's beautiful. That's the power of confidence. That's the power of being able to move them. Trust the body. Do not trust the spine. If she covers her face, you make quick adjustments, but you keep it positive. You don't tell her, don't do this, don't do that. Keep it positive. Keep the posing parabola in mind. When she smiles at you, that's the beginning. That's like that. Capture those expressions at near the climax and at the end of the climax. Capture those expressions in the expression parabola, and then stop shooting. Say, that was phenomenal. That was good. That was amazing. Whatever you did, do it again. Let's do this. And this is great. And then this is the result. Okay. Look at this one. Or this one. Or this one. Okay. So guys, I want to close this down with with a few words, and I want to invite you to the Photo Creators Conference, of course, because I believe in that conference so much. But first, let me explain that the last words I want to say to you are, don't run away from posing. Use this presentation as a guide, okay? There are 3 parts to posing. There is the mechanical side, there is the movement side, and there's the expression side. If you do one and you don't do the other 2, the pose is not going to look good. If you do 2, but you don't do the expression, it's not going to look good. You got to do all 3, okay? You got to keep the communication flowing. Don't cover your face and speak with low energy. Don't talk with low energy. You want energy out of them, you give them energy back, okay? Give them the respect. Put your shutter on mechanical shutter so that they can hear the shutter going off, so they know that you are working with them, okay? And most importantly, be confident. Even if you're nervous, be confident when you're taking the pictures, because if people smell fear in you, they're going to lose respect for you, okay? You don't want that. And then the last thing I want to say is I have a big surprise for you guys for B&H here, because B&H supports the Photo Creators Conference so much. So does Canon. First, I'll tell you what Photo Creators is. Photo Creators Conference is a conference that I created. I'm the founder of it. And I did it to create the ultimate conference experience on location. So very simple formula. I rented out a 150-acre ranch in Tucson, which you can see on the right. That's part of the acres that I rented. That way people can have no restrictions on where they're shooting. They can shoot anywhere they want. That you don't have to be told you cannot shoot here, you cannot shoot there. B, I bring the best teachers in the nation, and every single class is hands-on, and you get your hands, you get to try everything the teacher's doing. And the 3rd and 4th or whatever is the most beautiful experience in a conference you'll ever have in your life. Look at this. Here's a little video of it. That's the ranch. And we've been very lucky to have the best teachers in the country come, like Lindsay Adler, Chris Orwig, Joe McNally, Christina Shirk. I mean, we've had pretty top people. We rent out the whole ranch so people can try what they're doing with the teachers. The teachers have the entire grounds to experiment with. Here's Joe McNally doing some amazing portraits last year. Here's Chris Orwig doing his authentic portraits, and boy, did he just kill it. He just did an amazing job. Here we invite the most beautiful models, because I know people love their portfolio building, and I don't mind people building the portfolio at the conference, because you are actually taking the picture, as you can see by the photo. That person is actually controlling the whole photo shoot. And that lady right there is my friend Arbany, who happens to be the current Miss Universe, and is posing. She wasn't Miss Universe when she was here, but this was just six months ago, and then she became Miss Universe. So we're very happy for her and very proud of her. But we fly in these amazing models. This is just 4 out of 10 models we bring. People bring their families, like Christina Shirk. She was teaching Photoshop. She brought her daughter to the conference. Here's one of the classrooms where Lindsay Adler was teaching. Here is the bar where Joe McNally was doing his setups to create those magical photos he takes. There's one of the cowboys that we hired. There's Miss Universe. And this year we're gonna have Peter Hurley. He's gonna be teaching headshots. We're gonna have the master of lighting, Chris Knight, coming in to teach his cinematic lighting. We're gonna have Loretta Houston teaching you editorial photography, which is incredible. Guys, the amount of talent on this lady, this class alone would be worth it. You have Eric Joseph, probably the nation's top printing expert, to teach you how to do inkjet printing to the maximum level. You have this crazy guy right here named Roberto Valenzuela. I don't know who he is. I don't know how he got in. Somebody please call security. Just kidding. I'm teaching composition and also a little bit of printing. We have Cheryl Walsh coming in to teach you underwater photography. and she creates, you guys should look up Cheryl Walsh's work. It's incredible. So that's going to happen. She's going to have, we rented the whole pool, and we are treating the pool with the proper chemicals and pH balance and everything, so she can teach her class. Some of you guys can be in the pool with her doing photos under the water, and some of you guys can be outside of the pool too, so you guys can observe. And we have the drone angel, which is Emily. Emily's going to be teaching drones. I found a drone class to be of huge importance. She's one of the top drone instructors in the country, because everyone has a drone and we don't know how to use it. We don't know how to make cinematic movies out of it. We don't know the features it can do, and we don't know how to make money on it and how to commercialize our drones using a Part 107 license. And you have Sarah Edmonds coming from Italy to teach you speed retouching. So normally, I would give people a $300 discount using this code. But because we're celebrating B&H Depth of Field, and B&H is a huge supporter of the Photo Creators Conference, I'm going to give you guys the biggest discount I've given anyone, for only for 30 days. So it's called BH from B&H, BH VIP. It's going to take $400 out of your tuition ticket. And you can go to the Photo Creators website, sign up, choose which 5 classes you want. You can choose 5 out of 8, and you can put in this code and you will have $400 off your entire ticket. Okay.
I'm coming.
And you're coming. You better come.
What's the date? What's the date? When is it?
It's going to be May 8th through May 12th. And let me show you guys this. Hold on. Let me see. B&H. Yeah, let me just get to this. So this is B&H. It's going to be May 8th through May 12th. Guys, honestly, like pure heart-to-heart talk, you guys should come to this conference. It's guaranteed. I guarantee it, in the sense that we worked really hard to make this the most amazing experience ever. That's really educational. We focus on real education. We tell the teachers, even though they're very experienced, that we want them to, I want students to hear what you're teaching. I want them to see the teacher doing it, doing a demo. I want the students to be able to try what the teacher's doing. And I want the students to get a feedback from the teacher. So we do that cycle of 4 things: hear it, see it, try it, and get feedback. And if you're interested in any of my books, guys, you can have, these are the books that I have published already. Picture Perfect Practice, you might have heard of it. That's a composition book. You also have Picture Perfect Posing. This is probably one of the most sold posing books in the world. That's a good one to have. You have Picture Perfect Lighting, which is going to teach you amazing things on how to read light and how to do flashes and stuff. If you're in the wedding world, you have Wedding Storyteller Volume 1, Wedding Storyteller Volume 2, and basically this is the Successful Professional Photographer. This book is going to teach you how to actually make money in the photo world. Oh, you have it right there.
I have it right here. I didn't know this was just.
That's me.
You're amazing.
That's me. That's volume 1. Do you have volume 2?
Uh-oh.
You need volume 2.
It's signed.
It's signed. How the heck did you get this signed?
To Brenda.
To Brenda. And guys, I'm really excited about this. I'm almost done with this book. This is my new one called Picture Perfect Flash. That's coming out soon. Guys, thank you so much. Thank you. I hope you guys had an amazing time.
Thank you, everyone. First off, people were laughing on the chat. So you were right. You do get rooms to laugh for you. So you got a ton of compliments, and I think you're an amazing instructor. You just really gave us some great information. I wish that we could get you in person, but who knows? Maybe we'll come to Photo Creators. Thank you so much for that discount code for our customers. And a lot of your speakers that you talked about will be at Depth of Field. Joe McNally. Yeah, so it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's
pretty
gonna
cool.
be great.
So
Yeah,
I just
want to
throw out as well, Canon, my first serious camera was a Canon camera, and I've always loved Canon. The glass is beautiful. They make really wonderful cameras, very advanced, and it's like the eye focus, the autofocus system, the L lenses, they're white lenses. It's really great equipment, and I still have a good collection of Canon equipment. So you're working with the best stuff there, Roberto. Thank you so much.
Especially the Canon RF 28 to 70 2.0, my favorite lens in the world.
The lenses just keep getting better. I've always loved the 85 1.2. It's just
Yeah.
such a beautiful. It's heavy, but it's a beautiful lens. But the EOS 3, the new camera, is
R3.
stunning. And
Yeah.
R3, sorry, R3. It's what blew me away is that it's solid yet it's lightweight.
Oh,
know,
and the size is a little smaller than the 1DX Mark III, which was a little bulky. The R3 is like the perfect pro camera size.
Yeah.
But when you add a lens like the 28 to 70 2.0, oh man, that lens is just, that's just like Swiss chocolate right there.
You know what's cool about depth of field and photo creators, that you get to try out this equipment. So you slap your memory card in there, make some images with it.
Actually,
Okay,
B&H brings a lot of equipment to the photo creator so people can try things. And if you do want to try an R3 or you want to try some of the crazy lenses, since you are in a desert, in a ranch, you can shoot eagles, you can shoot hawks. We're doing astrophotography with the B&H guys, like Michael and stuff and Brent. They're going to come in, they're going to do light painting of the cactus and stuff,
Cool.
the cacti, I'm sorry, at night, like at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. So that's like an extracurricular fun activity. It's not one of the classes, but it is so fun to go up a mountain and see all the tripods of everybody photographing the Milky Way and having so much fun with a glass of wine. Oh,
sounds great. Thank you so much, Roberto. Looking forward to hopefully getting you here in New York
Thank
City.
you.
Or
I miss New
at
York.
another
I want to
city.
get in there.
It's good. New York misses you. Look at it. It's a beautiful,
It's been
great
3
day.
years since I've been to New York because of the pandemic.
We got to come back. We survived. It's
Yes,
a little different city now, but it's it's still New York City.
it is.
Cool. Thank you so much.
guys.
Thank you, Canon, for sponsoring today.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Canon.
Roberto, for joining us. And we'll see everybody tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel, 2 p.m. for our next webinar. Thank you all.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, B&H. Thank you, Canon. Bye.